So guys, could you please let me know that you guys can hear me clearly so that for the next 15 minutes, it can be too much interactions, too much discussion so that whatever the expertise I have for the last couple of years, I can share with you and you guys can be a little bit motivated. And top of that, I'll create some fun so that it should not be boring as well. So please let me know that you guys can hear me. Dushan, could you please confirm me that you guys can hear me clearly?
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
that's
Hafiz,
great. That's
we
great.
can.
That's great. Okay, so guys, let me introduce myself first. My name is Hafiz, and I am currently living in Melbourne. And since 2015 till now, I am providing PTE academic coaching. The question is why PTE Academic? So I'll be discussing today as well. And top of that, in the journey from Sri Lanka to Melbourne or Sri Lanka to Sydney, it means Sri Lanka to Australia. I believe that as an international student, it's very important to understand that which language test you should choose and why, and how fast you can get the score in your PT academic so that you can process your student file as soon as possible and just get on board on the plane and landed on the city you love in Australia. Okay, welcome back to our today's presentation, and I'll try my level best to make it more interactive, more knowledgeable, so that within next 14 minutes, I have already covered 1 minute, we'll try our level best to help you understand how you can get your required English language test score for your desire, dream, and ambition studying in Australia. Let's jump into the presentations. My presentation will be a little bit different, so hopefully you guys can enjoy it. So I'm going to share my computer screen. Is it possible that guys you can share? Yeah, I can share right now. Sharing is not turned on. So Vanuka or Dushan, could you please help me to give me the access, because without getting access, I can't.
Okay, I don't really have host access, so I think.
Yeah, there.
Oh yes, wait.
Okay,
Yeah, claim yourself as the host. Anyway,
not sure.
No, I have allowed it now.
Okay, that's great. That's great. Yeah, fantastic. Thanks, Rudra.
okay.
Okay, guys, I believe that you can see my computer screen, and hopefully this session will be very much interactive. Okay, so the opening slide, you can see that it's called PTE Academic. Why PTE Academic? Because recently Pearson introduced another language test. It's called PTE Core. But for Australia, it is important to focus on PT Academic. So definitely you have to make sure that you are understanding today's session. Okay, so what is PT Academic? So if I go to the next slide, what is PT Academic? So PT Academic is a computer-based exam, and you'll be sitting in front of the computer for 2 hours, and you can only carry your passport in the exam hall, and they will give you a computer, mouse, monitor, and a erasable notebook that you can write on top of that, and you can take the exam. And like IELTS exam, there are 4 sections in PTE, that is speaking, writing, reading, and listening. But make sure that the whole session will be on computer. So your speaking will be done through your headphones. So you'll be doing speaking, and definitely you have to talk to the computer. Then in the writing, you have to type. There is no, you can physically write. So you have to type. And then reading, you have to read in front of the computer. And for listening, you have to listen and answer that questions. Now, the next question comes that why PTE is popular. The reason behind this is success stories. So you know that if you want to come to Australia for bachelor's and master's, you have to get at least 58 out of 90. The highest score in PTE is 90. And you have to get 58, that is IELTS equivalent 6.5. Honestly speaking, if anyone wants to get 6.5 in IELTS, he or she should take at least 3 to 6 months of rigorous coaching and suggest a support so that they can get that score. Eventually, the tough part is speaking and writing. But in PT Academic, it's not that much difficult to get that 58. Why? Because you will be sitting in front of the computer and the computer will assess your performance. It will be assessed by the machine learning and the AI algorithms. So definitely you should not talk to a human being. Whatever happens in IELTS, you should talk to a human being, and that's very tough to satisfy that person to get the best score in speaking. Even you have to write, and also that will be assessed and evaluated by a human being. That's also a little bit tough to get the desired score to get your student visa, that is at least 6.5. But in PT, it is all about computer. So definitely it is the best way to sit for the exam. And that's the reason PT is popular, very popular nowadays. If you ask 10 students nowadays for Australia education's visa, and out of 10, probably 9 students will be telling that, okay, I choose PT, not IELTS. I'm not saying against IELTS, but I'm talking about why PT is popular. Second thing is that if you have a look that I have just Googled a little bit earlier that in Sri Lanka, it takes 50,000 Sri Lankan rupees to sit for one attempt in PT academic examination. Now, just imagine that you failed and another time you have to sit for the exam. But it's very common in IELTS, because in IELTS, people are not getting their required score in one attempt. They have to sit a couple of times. So just think in that way that you are trying to study abroad. There are so many costs associated. You have to pay for the universities. You have to pay for other activities. You have to, even if you get the visa, then you have to pay for the plane fare. So it's important to build the mindset that if you can get the score within one attempt. So most of the time people think that, okay, I'll be sitting for the exam and I'll be getting the score, but they are depending on their luck. It's not about luck, friend. It's all about the way you are getting prepared. So if you are targeting 58 at least, but I'll be suggesting you that you should target at least 65. That is IELTS band score 7 equivalent. And the good thing is that will give you extra 10 permanent residency points. So living in your home country, practicing at home, and you don't have any other tensions. So you should definitely work for getting good score, but make sure that your mindset should get the score within one attempt. That's very, very important. Now, in my experiences, out of 10, 6 to 7 people can easily get their PT academic score in their first attempt if they are practiced, they followed, and they have a good mindset. Definitely, that means 60 to 70% chances that you can get your score in the first attempt. Now, if I want to, ask you that why choose PT and IELTS, so the comparison you can see that in PT academic, you need to get 56 plus, but actually it is 58. But in IELTS, it is 65. So the way I have been helping students, I have more than 5,000 success stories since last 10 years, where more than 600 students got 90 out of 90. That means the perfect band score. More than 2,000 students got 79, that is IELTS band score 8. And rest of the people who are coming here for nursing registration, or they need 6, that is IELTS band score 6, that means PT 50. Or IELTS band score 7, that is PT 65. I believe everyone got their score. And I'll be sharing some success story later, and I'll share the link so that you can watch from there as well. Now, next one is understanding the PT exam environment. So you can see that you will be sitting under a cubicles. That means imagine this is your exam hall. In that particular exam hall, there'll be a small cubicle, that is a stable setup, where 8 to 10 people will be sitting in one particular room. And you'll be sitting in one particular cubicle. So what will be the situation? Imagine this is the girl, and this girl has the headphone. They will provide the headphone. This is the computer. They will provide the computer. This is the marker. They will provide the marker. And this is the erasable notebook. So only you can take your passports, and then you have to do the exam for the 120 minutes. That means 2 hours exam. And definitely, if you can do it better way, then you can get the score as soon as possible. And surprisingly, most of the students in South Asia and in Sri Lanka, you can get your score within 2 days. 80% of the time that you can get the score within 2 days to 3 days, but it's not that much possible in IELTS examination. But that's the reason there's another reason that it is very much popular compared to IELTS. Moving on, next is PTE scoring explained. So how PTE score explained? So you can see that I told you the highest score in PT is 90 and the lowest score is 10. Highest score is 90 and lowest score is 10. And by default, 10 is equal to 0. So if you want to get your student visa, you have to get 58. I told that 65 means IELTS band score 7, 79 means IELTS band score 8. So to get that 58, it's pretty possible that if anyone work only 4 weeks, they can easily get that 58. And I can see it's a assurance that if anyone follow a particular guidelines and work accordingly for 4 weeks, definitely they can get a score in the speaking, writing, reading, and listening. That's not that much difficult at all. So this is very important, that the mindset that, okay, I'll not give more than 4 weeks of time to give the best shot in my PTE academic preparation, and hopefully I can get the score. So you have to understand that out of 90, you have to get 58. That's not that much difficult. Moving on, the next slide will be talking about that how we can help you so that you can get your required score within 4 weeks. Yes, your pathway to success in 4 weeks. Now, usually we are following 5 steps to make you a score in your PTE academic examination. 5 steps is very important to understand, and I'll be describing everything step by step so that you guys can understand how you can actually accelerate in your PTE academic preparation. So what should be our first step? Step 1 is learning the foundation. So I always believe that if you know the basic and fundamentals, it's very easy to get the score. So all of my students, when they come to me, they always try to get, oh, Hafiz, I don't have enough time. Please help me. I have only 2 weeks time or 3 weeks time. But remember that it's not about checking your luck. You need to know how you can actually develop your mindset, how you can focus on the basic and fundamentals. If you work on your basic and fundamentals, definitely you should get the score as soon as possible. I always tell my students one story that if you have money, you can buy fish and have fish. But if you don't have money, you cannot buy fish and have fish because you don't have money. But a person who knows how to catch fish, even the persons don't have the money, that doesn't have the money, they can actually have fish, because money all the time cannot make you have fish, because it is about the skill. So you have to develop that skill, and that is the step 1, learning the foundation. How you can get the score in the speaking, how you can get the score in the writing, how you can get the score in the reading and listening, how Pearson checks the performance, what are the parameters Pearson checks, so that you can easily get your score within 4 weeks. That is very important. So step 1 is about your learning. Then step 2 is practice makes perfect. That is whatever you're learning. For example, today you learn how to write essay. And I asked her, hey guys, did you understand how to write essay in PTE Academic? And you said, yes, Hafiz, we understood everything. The now time for practicing. So when you said yes, then you are practicing at home. That means you are facing some problems, because we believe that when you learn some formula, like in mathematics, even when you are understanding how to do that one, and you are facing the difficulties, how to get the solution, because you are living in Sri Lanka and I am living in Melbourne. So how the problem can be solved? So we have developed the feedback loop system. Feedback loop system, what does it mean? The next slide is all about unlimited feedback loop. It means that when you will be practicing at home, say you are practicing at night, 10 p.m. Sri Lankan time, and that is in Australia, it is 3 a.m. midnight. But our support system is developed in such a way, when you will be asking out the support system that, hey, Hafiz, yesterday you told me to do this. I followed everything, but I got only 52 out of 90. But you told me that if you do all these things, you'll be getting at least 75 plus. But why I'm not getting a score? Now, when you'll be asking that questions in our support group, what we will be doing, we will be actually giving you 3 types of feedback. The first feedback is audio feedback. That means when you'll be responding on our support group, we'll be sending an audio message that, hey, Mr. X or Miss Y, you have made this mistakes, and for this reason, you didn't get the good score. What you should do, you have to avoid that mistakes. If you didn't understand the audio feedback, then we have to focus on the next step, is called video feedback. That means we will be recording our computer screen and share the link to you, so that you can see the demonstration, that how you can understand what are the areas you're making mistakes. Even though you're not understanding, we'll be sitting a one-on-one session for 10 to 15 minutes on Zoom, so that we can sit with you and try to make you understand what are the mistakes you have made. So you can see that this unlimited feedback loop process can help you to get your required score. Why? Because the way you are learning, the way you are practicing, and then you are getting the feedback, that's very important, that you can see the progress of your performance, and that we do. Next is our step 4 is realistic mock test simulation. As PT is a 2 hours test, so you need to know that how you can utilize that 2 hours. So it is very important to understand that, okay, Hafiz, first we have to do speaking, it is 30 minutes. Then we have to do writing, it is another 30 minutes. Then we have to do reading 30 minutes and listening 30 minutes, all together 2 hours. So whenever you're practicing speaking, you're doing good. But when you're practicing all together, you are not doing good, because for 2 hours, the concentration, the way you have to give the best shot, you're not getting the good score. So this realistic mock test will tell you two things. What are the areas you are making mistakes, and what are the areas you have to improve? So two things are very important, that the common pattern of your mistakes and what are the areas you have to improve. Now, based on that mock test, what we have to do, our next step 5, that is the final step, will come analysis and improvement, that you have set for the mock test. And now we have to give you the feedback that, hey, Miss X, the way you have done speaking, the reason behind this, you are not getting a score. Writing, this is the reason you are not getting a score. Reading, you're not getting a score, and listening like that. Then you have to go for the second mock test. Now, when you're doing mock test 1 and then mock test 2, then you can see what are the mistakes you made in the mock test 1. You have solved those problems, and now you're giving mock test 2. So the consistency of the performance is getting there. So you're not giving that, okay, I understood what are the mistakes I made over there. There was a mistakes about time management. There was a mistakes about my speaking. There was a mistake about my headphone. There's a mistakes about my writing style. So we have to cover all these things and jumping into the next part, that is our mock test 2. In that way, we are getting prepared within how many days? Within 30 days, that is 4 weeks. And I believe that if anyone follow that 5 steps, anyone in the world who has a greater knowledge about minimum vocabularies, they can easily get 58 out of 19 PTE academic examinations for their student visa in Australia. So guys, remember that there is no shortcut method, but definitely I believe that this kind of process learning, method learning can help you to understand so that you can get your required score. So moving on, what we have to do, that why our approach works. So you can see that it's an old school method. Old school method, why? First is L, that is your learning. Then you are practicing. Then we are giving feedback. Then you are doing mock test, and then we are analyzing everything. So it's all about, imagine that when you are in your age 7 or 8, your teacher asks, hey, these are the homework, do it. Hey, these are the feedback, you have to follow that one. So this old school method really works. Why? Because every day you are checking your performance, where you are standing, where you are situating that the way you are performing. So that's the reason out of 100%, 99% people claim that, Hafiz, we have understood everything from the first 2 to 3 weeks. And this is me who has to work. Otherwise, from your part, you have done your job beautifully, because the way you made me understand about the basic and fundamentals, the way you gave me the feedback, the way you showed me the area of improvements, I'm really happy. So if you do in that way, I believe that within 4 weeks, everything will be very much crystal clear, and you should get your score as soon as possible. So this is the way we actually work. Now, next part is ready to start. That, okay, Hafiz, you have said so many things. Why I should trust you, why I should believe in you. For this reason, I always offer a free lesson. You can sit with me for 20 to 30 minutes, one-on-one session, that, okay, Hafiz, before investing my money, I want to have a sit with you so that I can understand how you can help me to get my required score. So that you can talk to Dushan, the Sri Lankan team. They can arrange the classes for you. So you can sit with me and you can take the lesson free and understand that how Mr. Hafiz from Melbourne can help me. I am living in Sri Lanka. Still, I can get my required score within 4 weeks in one attempt. So this is the way I help my students for the last 10 years. If you're interested that how it works, definitely you are most welcome to attend a free lesson, and that will be easy for you because you're not going to pay anything, sitting at your home, opening your laptop, and then you are sitting with me and taking the one-on session. So guys, thank you very much for joining today's session. If you have any questions, let me know. Right now it's the Q&A sessions for my 15 minutes. I'm not sure whether I have covered 15 minutes or not, but I tried my level best to make it very much compact, very much easy to understand, the way everything will be very much crystal clear from your part, because I know that you are living in Sri Lanka right now. You might not understand so